The lightsaber, the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Ancient weapons and hokey religions are no match for a good blaster by your side.
So uncivilized. Hey guys, welcome to the Rebel Rave.
I'm Rob.
I'm Dave.
And today we're breaking down our top 10 lightsabers.
Before we get into our top 10 list, do us a favor and like and subscribe, hit the little ring button for notifications, and follow us on social media at The Rebel Rave on both Twitter and Instagram.
So, the lightsaber.
Quite possibly the most iconic sci-fi prop and weapon of all time.
After the hoverboard, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna talk about our top 10 lightsabers.
All right, so let's start with our top 10. Number 10, Anakin's Attack of the Clones lightsaber.
This thing is not very bright.
So what you're looking at here is a vintage collector's piece, a 2002 Master Replicas Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. High school me pined over this on the internet.
One of the reasons why I love this lightsaber is because this lightsaber, not a lot of people know that this was actually from Star Wars. This is kind of like one of those sabers that only like true Star Wars fans know about, or if you're a prequel fan, this is a prequel lightsaber. This is actually the lightsaber that Anakin had destroyed in the droid factory. So I actually found this at a pawn shop, and I got it for $20.
That's amazing. I really dig this saber. I love how it's a take on the Vader original trilogy saber, basically, which is with the chrome kind of emitter instead of the black one. And this saber is also infamous for murdering a tribe of Tusken Raiders. Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
All right, and that brings us to number 9 in our top lightsabers.
Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's saber is actually one of my top favorite sabers of all time. I just love the originality of it. Just for some background, it was designed totally digitally. It was 3D printed and then cast into the final prop. And I love how in The Last Jedi, they sort of retcon and make it so that this is actually Ben Solo's Jedi lightsaber. And before, when he was just a Jedi, it did not have the cross guards. It did not have the open section here, the exposed wires and such. It makes it a really cool concept that perhaps as he turned to the dark side and left Luke's academy, he modified this to be his dark side saber. Perhaps he was bleeding the crystal and it cracked and he needed to add the crossguard vents in order to control it, and that's why it's so unstable and sounds so unique. This saber has an amazing sound. I just think this saber is so darn cool. At first I wasn't too crazy about the crossguards, but then I had a child, and that child learned how to lightsaber fight me, and I realized the crossguards really are useful. This
lightsaber made my list for 2 reasons. One, because it's the most unique looking. I would say it's kind of tied with Darth Maul's in uniqueness. And I love the sound. I love the unstableness of the blade, how it's not just a clear beam, but you know, it's all fiery.
And speaking of that, check this out. Rob made custom extra like spitty, fiery blade covers for this Black Series Hasbro Kylo Ren saber so that it looks a little more accurate.
So if you want to see a tutorial on how we did this, let us know in the comment section below and maybe we'll make a video.
And now number 8, the cutest little saber in the galaxy.
Judge me by my size, do you? YODA.
Fun fact, the YODA lightsaber was actually created originally for the Phantom Menace visual dictionary. And then the ILM CG animators just went ahead and used that to model the CG saber that YODA uses in Attack of the Clones. Just like Darth Vader's original lightsaber and Luke's original lightsaber, it's actually made out of a vintage flash gun, along with some model parts, like that's a wheel from like a model like Lamborghini, I think,
oh, wow.
And some extra plastic and such. It's a really cool looking little saber. I really dig it.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of this saber, especially after seeing it in Attack of the Clones. Now, when YODA used this saber, it was a pretty cheesy lightsaber battle. However, I love the way he pulled it out, when he just opened his cloak and just kind of used his hand and brought it out. I've always thought it was a cool little saber. It's not number 1 on my list, but it is a very cool saber nonetheless. All right, number 7 on our list of top lightsabers. This one is actually not from a movie.
It's Kanan Jarrus. Nothing's gonna come to my hand because we don't have it.
We don't know it.
So when they first announced Star Wars Rebels, they showed some behind the scenes footage of Dave Filoni drawing and kind of telling us about the animation language. And I believe they showed us a glimpse of Kanan's lightsaber. Right from the get-go, when I saw Kanan's lightsaber in that first episode of Rebels, I loved it. It does the thing where it disconnects. He keeps half of it on his belt, the back of his belt, half of it on the front of his belt, so you can be, you know, Jedi and stealth. I just think it's a nice, sleek, elegant design. It takes some aspects from the original trilogy and some aspects from the prequel designs, and just makes a really solid lightsaber. It's one of my favorites for sure.
I've actually never seen Rebels, and I know nothing about this lightsaber, so on to the next one.
Berate him in the comments for that, please.
So, that takes us to lightsaber number 6.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Master Saber. So this is the Revenge of the Sith version. It's very similar and it's based on the A New Hope version. And it is one of my favorite sabers for sure.
So the one I actually own right here is a Hasbro signature lightsaber. They don't make these anymore, but the cool thing about this one is it's a removable blade, so you can pop this whole thing off. As you can see, the colors don't really match the movie, or you know, the original in Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith? Yeah. The one in Revenge of the Sith actually has more of a shiny gold to it. I don't know why they didn't make it that color, but anyways, one thing that Black Series and Hasbro just has not been able to figure out is how to make these necks thin.
Like this.
Yes, exactly. So I'm a big fan of these thin neck lightsabers. I love this lightsaber.
All right, that brings us to saber number 5. The Skywalker GRAFLEX saber. So it's called GRAFLEX because GRAFLEX was a camera equipment company, and this was made out of one of their flash guns. Imagine an old press camera from like the 1940s. They would have the main camera body, and then there would be an extra tube on the side with a big reflector up top. Get a button you can press and take your photo. So the original production designer, Roger, what's his name?
Federer.
Is that really his name?
No, that's a tennis player.
Could even show this. Christian? Roger Christian, I was right. So original production designer Roger Christian used these flash guns to make both Luke's and Darth Vader's lightsabers. So what I have in my hands here is the Force Awakens version. This is actually a Disney Parks exclusive removable blade. It does have a blade and does light up and make sound version of this saber. It's a little inaccurate in that the clamp and the grips are rotated like 30 degrees off of where they should be. The clamp really should be more in line, like 90 degrees to the face of the details here. For Revenge of the Sith, this was custom machined, sort of an idealized version of what the GRAFLEX saber would be in the Star Wars universe. And then here is how we first saw the saber in A New Hope. It has 7 grips as opposed to 6. The clamp is 9 degrees to the face of the details, however, on the opposite side from where it is in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. In The Force Awakens, Empire Strikes Back, and The Last Jedi, they also add either screws or rivets or Allen head screws, depending on the version we're looking at. And there are other really subtle differences. For instance, the like sort of circuit board card versus calculator strip bubbles in the A New Hope version. This is a really interesting prop. I love following all the details and different versions of it. I mean, even the D-ring clip changes between the films. So I love this saber. It's a classic design. It's iconic, and it's for sure one of my favorites.
It is the original lightsaber, so it had to be on our list. One of our favorites for sure. So number 4 on our list of top lightsabers is
Mace Windu's.
Yes. But we actually don't have one with us, but we are going to talk about it. Mace Windu's lightsaber is the only purple lightsaber in the galaxy.
That we've seen so far.
That we know of, yes. Fun fact, this is not the same lightsaber that Mace Windu has on his belt in The Phantom Menace. It was actually first introduced in Attack of the Clones.
They even featured it in some of the Attack of the Clones marketing, where they said it had like an Electrum alloy finish. It has that unique purple blade that Rob mentioned, and I think my favorite Easter egg about it is that it has BMF, we'll let you figure out what that stands for on your own.
Google it.
Inscribed on it, just like a certain inscription that his character in Pulp Fiction has. All right, number 3 is another lightsaber we don't have. It's Qui-GON Jinn's lightsaber.
Qui-GON Jinn's lightsaber is by far one of the most simple looking ones. It's very simplistic, but to me, it seems like it's the most user-friendly. You can swing that thing around.
Absolutely.
And you know, when they were actually allowing the cast to pick out their sabers, Liam Neeson said he wanted a blade, or he wanted a hilt that was easy to swing around, and so he went for the simplest looking one, which at first I was like, oh, that's just black and silver. Like, that's it. But I really do love that hilt. It's a really cool lightsaber. We don't have it on us, but it is definitely one of our favorite hilts. What do you like about it?
I bought so many of the toy Qui-GON Jinn lightsabers in 1999 after The Phantom Menace came out, because me and my buddies in my neighborhood would go outside, beat the crap out of each other with them, and break them all the time. Like Rob said, I think it's great that it's just a sleek design. I think it really, you know, embodies that elegant weapon for a more civilized time kind of look and ideal. And I love that it has the thicker section up top to stop your right hand if you're holding it. Kind of like how the thin necks on the Luke and Obi-Wan sabers work. it kind of gives you something to twirl with.
Yeah.
So cool saber. I would love to own one day. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, number 2.
Luke's second lightsaber. All right, so this is Luke Skywalker's second lightsaber that we see first in Return of the Jedi. Now, there are several variations of this, I believe, right, Dave?
Correct. There's like a hero version that has some great details on it, like these triangles and this extra like little black rubber button kind of things. There's the version 2 of it, which, how does that look, Rob?
So the version 2 actually has a GRAFLEX clamp that wraps around the body. It has a pointing knob and a modified lever, as well as it also doesn't have this color here. It's actually more of like a dark black, and it looks a little bit relic. Like, it looks like it's taking quite a beating, the version 2.
It may have started its life as a stunt saber from A New Hope for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, there's actually a deleted scene from Return of the Jedi. If you look up on YouTube, you will find it. We will link it down in the description below, where you actually see Luke in a cave building this lightsaber. It's kind of like his entrance into being a Jedi Knight.
Absolutely. And in that scene, he uses one of the hero props that has these arrows that are LEDs and they actually light up. And his exactly. And his lightsaber in The Last Jedi is based off this one as well.
Now, as I previously said with the OB-WAN saber that I was talking about, Hasbro and just the Disney licensed sabers haven't really been able to figure out how to make these thin neck lightsabers like they have with this one. So this one is actually not a Black Series. It's not a Hasbro master replica, any of that. This is actually a custom made one from overseas. It's called the Makoto lightsaber. It's the brightest lightsaber I own, and by far one of my favorites. All right, and now, our number 1 lightsaber in our ranking of top 10 lightsabers. Ironically enough, this lightsaber was featured in one of our least favorite Star Wars movies, Obi-Wan Kenobi's first lightsaber.
The minute I saw this in The Phantom Menace, I thought, wow, that is incredible. I think that's when I really fell in love with all the different variations of lightsaber hilts and such. It is a beautifully designed saber. This is on loan from us. This is our friend Derek's. This is a activation switch for real world stuff. That's not entirely accurate. It doesn't go there. But otherwise, this is pretty close. It's just an absolutely beautiful lightsaber. It's great to handle it when you got the blade in it. It just feels right. I think it just looks amazing. I mean, I don't know. It's my favorite lightsaber. Yeah,
I agree. In my opinion, this is one of the most beautifully designed lightsabers. The hilt is just incredible. You know, it's so unique, and I think one of the reasons why I like this one is the same reason why I like the Attack of the Clones Anakin one. You know, it's just one that a lot of people forget about. It's one that some people don't even know exists. You know, when you think Obi-Wan's lightsaber, you think of the classic A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith style one with the little thin neck. But I love his original lightsaber. I was a little bit distraught when it fell down the shaft after killing Darth Maul.
Yeah, and fun fact, like Rob mentioned before, they let Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor pick out of like 6 or 7 different designs for The Phantom Menace. And even though this fell down that shaft with Darth Maul, Ewan asked them, hey, can I have that same lightsaber back? And they said, yeah, sure, we'll just make it as if you rebuilt it. So that's why he has it in Attack of the Clones too, and that's the last time we see it. Yeah. So that's it, our top 10 favorite lightsabers from the Rebel Rave. Let us know in the comments, what's your favorite lightsaber? What's your least favorite lightsaber? What do you want to see from different lightsabers in the future? Do you want Rey to wield a double-bladed lightsaber?
Ooh, maybe Rey is going to rebuild the GRAFLEX, half her own?
Is she going to use a different color blade? Do you want to see new blade colors introduced into the films? Let us know. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like with that thumbs up button. Subscribe for more Star Wars videos that we're producing soon. And hey, may the Force be with you.